how do you get your first high ticket client and which strategy would work best for you? That's why in this video, I'm sitting down with Victor Vizcaino, who recently signed a very important client for his coaching business. And he has a story that I think will help you with your marketing strategy and also with your mindset when it comes to finding high ticket clients. My name is Morris and you're watching my channel Create Grow Profit. And let's dive straight into the conversation with Victor Vizcaino and hear his client success story. Okay, Victor, thank you so much for coming on this call today and sharing your story with us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
You and I, we have spoken a lot in the past. We've worked together a bit as well. But for anyone watching, what kind of coaching do you do and how did you become a coach?
I am an endurance sports coach. That's what I like to call myself. But I do a lot of coaching with athletes who are wanting to do marathons or triathlon. And lately I've been specializing a little more with marathoners just because I've done many of those. And that's my specialty, is a marathon. And then I added transformational marathon because ideally I love to work with people who are interested in experiencing the transformation that comes with a marathon. So I work with them in a holistic way so that doing the marathon doesn't have to derail other parts of their lives. On the contrary, it can enhance their relationship, their work through creativity and all that, because they are doing something healthy, but assist them in reaching other goals, not just getting to the finish line.
So how did you become the coach that you are today? How did you specialize in this coaching topic?
I think because before I got into the marathon running, I would hear the marathon being used a lot as a metaphor in the personal growth. So I was into personal growth first, and then back then it was with Tony Robbins. I believe it was early 90s or mid 90s, and he would use the marathon as a metaphor. And I hear it a lot. You know, life is like a marathon. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Or when they're talking about doing hard things, they always refer to like, yeah, don't treat it as a sprint, it's a marathon. And then when Tony Robbins was challenging me to do hard things, do the things that are hard, commit to something. And I thought, okay. And then when my sister said, hey, you should do a marathon, and the idea lit up in me and said, oh yeah, definitely want to try doing a marathon. From there, then I continued to follow Tony Robbins and then Brendan Burchard and other leaders in the personal growth. And then I thought, no, I should become a coach myself. At the very least, I want to be able to self-coach myself to other dreams or other ideas. And thinking about that idea, it just gave me more creative thinking, or easier to learn something, because I'm thinking of how I would teach that to somebody else. And I think it's just the way my brain works from the beginning. Is either it's my kids or somebody who I'm trying to influence. I'm always learning something, and even it's in my own head, I'm already thinking of how would I teach that to my kids? How would I influence my spouse? And I think that's where the seeds of becoming a coach started doing that. And then 2020, I became certified high performance coach with Brendan Burchard. Then I went to Evan Pagan and I did the virtual coach. I became certified with them, and I was still working for UPS full time. And once I retired in late 2021, and that's when I decided I want to do this full time.
So, and now you have your coaching business and you have signed your first high ticket client very recently. So it's all coming together for you nicely. It's working for you. The main reason why I wanted to do this call with you today is because of the story that you told me in one of our calls regarding your high ticket client. Can you quickly summarize how that happened and, share some of the details regarding the context of your high ticket client?
Absolutely. The client that I enrolled was a referral client. So somebody referred them to me. I get a message that says, hey, somebody referred me to you. And the message also said, I want to qualify for the Boston Marathon. Are you still coaching? I responded back. I didn't know who this was because it was through the messenger. I was kind of a little suspicious. I said, yes, I'm still doing it. I'm busy this week, but you can schedule yourself through my website. I gave him the website and said, if you have any problems, you can contact me with my email. 10 minutes later, I get a message on my phone that somebody scheduled themselves for a strategy call. I thought, oh, that's when I realized this is a real prospect. And talking, then of course, I think it was going to be a Monday morning. Monday came around. I came around to the call. And yes, my prospect big dream was wanting to qualify for the Boston Marathon. I felt that that was the ideal client right away. It's like, okay, okay, I've been to the Boston Marathon. I know what it's like to want to have that. It's like, if there's any ideal client for me, that would be it. Someone who wants to do the Boston Marathon. So it made things, conversation much, much easier because it was around what lights you up about the Boston Marathon. And a lot of things were similar as to my own aspirations for wanting to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And I easily was able to let her know what I can do for this client, what I've done for other athletes in my club. And, because it's another reason why it's an ideal client, because I've been helping friends, I've been helping other athletes in my club, coaching them to improve their running. And some of them have qualified, some of them have not, but no one has come to me specifically and said, can you coach me to qualify for the Boston Marathon? So the fact that they were very specific, I think, made me feel that it's making my job easier, more clear. Like, oh, I have clarity as to where they want to go. And I have dreamed about what I would do for somebody if they wanted to qualify for Boston. If they were in the same shoes that I was, what would I do for them? So yeah, it made that procedure a little bit easier. And just letting them know a lot of my expertise, a lot of what I would be able to do for them. And also just asking them questions as to their reason. What is their why? And really getting to know their reasons is much easier to address or let them know that I could help them based on those answers.
One thing that really stood out to me as you told me this story here is that you are already involved in a running club or a triathlon club, but you're already involved triathlon. Okay. But you're already involved in a group, and I assume you're helping there, answering questions, supporting people because you're passionate about this topic. You're not paid to be part of this club or to train in this club.
Correct.
And this really reminds me of what virtual coaches like to do digitally, and that is joining Facebook groups or existing communities on their favorite social media platforms.
Yes, absolutely right. Morris, yes, we've been having a lot of conversations with that. And I find that it's absolutely true. Once you start realizing how referrals start to work, how the word gets out, it's easier to present your value to people that you care about. For example, with my club, it's a game changer because I go with the idea of trying to provide as much value to them as possible. But at the same time, in order to provide that value, I need to ask questions. I become more curious. What is it that you are struggling with? What are your dreams? Why do you want those dreams and accomplishment? And then I can ask myself, how can I either answer those questions or provide more value to help them get to where they want to go?
Getting into the habit of asking good questions and then listening to their answers is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, yeah. And correlating those two with the way you're going to provide value is by really knowing what they want and how this is going to help other prospects. That definitely makes a difference, because every time you're thinking, okay, how can I provide more value, and present it like that. Once you start to realize that this is very valuable tips that you have to help them out, then you can present yourself. And a lot of times I love introducing myself as, I am Coach Victor Vizcaino, and I have a few valuable tips for you. And I think that it does make a difference, because now they see you, okay, here's a coach. And even if, for example, you tell me you're a coach and you're able to create value for me, even if I don't immediately say, okay, I can use Morris right now, I may think of somebody else. Say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what my friend Leo wants. And I can now refer you, oh, you have to talk to Morris because he has a lot of good tips and he would be a good coach for you, or somewhat of those lines.
You're saying that, yes, help generously. Don't be afraid to just help whenever you can, providing value, but at the same time, remind people of what it is that you do, and also have a good label for what it is that you do. Like when you introduce yourself as Coach Victor, that carries your coaching label and makes people understand, okay, there is a follow-up conversation to be had, either for myself or for friends. But then at the same time, you're helping them reach their goals in the running club, but always reminding them that you are also a coach and available for further questions. I like this mixture of free, helping for free, providing free, valuable content, but always gently reminding people of your position in the marketplace as a professional coach.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that people are thinking they want more than just the regular tips. And because that's, I think that's what coaching is. I mean, we can all probably find the information on the internet, through a YouTube, through everything. In just information, we don't need a coach. But when a coach comes in handy is how do you apply those? And when we faced with a fear, to have someone there, it's like, I'm afraid of this and something's getting in the way for some reason that it's not clear to me. Having that outside person to say, to ask you is like, okay, what's happening? What are you feeling? Why are you not doing the things that you said you were going to do? You can both go on a journey of self-discovery, discovering, okay, yeah, I think that my fear is this. If your fears, for example, that I'm going to fail, because that's one of the main fears is like, if I fail at whatever it is that I'm tempting, the pain is going to be great. And a coach can see this and say, hey, this is something that everybody faces, and here are some ways to deal with that fear. And what you're going to gain is way more powerful than the fear that you're experiencing.
I want to ask a follow-up question around your marketing experience now, because looking at your timeline, you decided to go full-time coaching end of 2021. Right now, at the moment of recording this, we are only in the middle of 2022, and you're already signing up high-ticket clients. Now, comparing that to most people trying to make money online or starting an online business, you have progressed very quickly, successfully. But also, hearing you tell your story now, you have invested time into your running club, into building your network, into building your knowledge already way before 2021. So you have brought that knowledge and influence into your coaching business when you launched it. So now, looking back at everything you've achieved and everything you've learned in this process, if you had to redo it again, what would be the one thing you would prioritize the most in your marketing strategy? Like, you have to go back in time, you have to restart, but you keep your knowledge. Where would you double down in your marketing to finding high ticket clients?
A couple of things I want to say with that. The one thing that stood out to me in coaching from Eben Pagan that was different from the other coaches is that they said something like, no one goes out just looking for coaching. He said, what they're looking for is results. And that kind of like, okay, yeah, that is true. I haven't found people who are just like, hey, come coach me. But if they're looking for a specific result, such as the one where somebody wants to qualify for Boston, and Eben Pagan gets a lot of examples of that. They want to lose belly fat, very specific result. I always use the 6-pack abs. Somebody wants something specific, a specific result, and from there it just spills out into other things that they want, a better version of them. And you're always pointing out what that might look like, and they start to dream their own dream. And that's where we can go, oh, not only can I get you a 6-pack, but I might be able to get the girl of your dreams to something like that. And so being the specific, then it makes you think, okay, then where does that person that wants to qualify for Boston would hang out? You start to learn, where does it hang out? So now you can go and create value to people who first that you're interested in, because those are the results that you're not specific. You're probably can bring a lot of results to a lot of people. But if people are looking for a certain result, you can start to hang out where they hang out. And that might even be your client that hangs out, but they'll know the client that's going to come for you. So that would be my strategy right now, is to double down. And that's what I'm doing. I'm creating value at where I am passionate. I'm passionate about running. I'm spending time with my running club. I'm spending time with my triathlon club. I'm going to the races, the marathon races, and spending a little time there, doing my questioning, giving them tips, and also asking what else do they need? How can I serve them better? So that's, I would say that would be the number one strategy, is continue to hang out where your prospective client is. And that comes with clarity. It's really difficult when you don't clear of the result you're wanting to deliver and the client you want to serve, or the people that you want to serve. But once you start getting clarity in that, it makes it much easier. So I say the number one strategy, if I had to go back in time, is I have to get specific. I have to know, who do I want to serve? And that might take you a while to really probably eliminate all these other options that you're thinking about and say, okay, because I think that it's harder than people think, because we think of like, I want to help everybody. Yeah, and these ideas and these options. And so when you say, well, I want it specifically to that, something in our brain doesn't go very well. It's like, well, no, I don't want to just help this client. But if we can put that aside and say, you gotta be specific, and then you can start broadening. Because then once you start learning how to help this specific and get the word out, get your name out, you may be able to help somebody else and then get more broader.
Victor, that is so incredibly valuable what you've just shared, because like you said, or let's take the Boston Marathon as an example. You can help people run all kinds of marathons, right? But by you deciding, okay, I'm going to help people who want to run the Boston Marathon, that's how you find your clarity, and that's how you will change your communication, and that's how you will decide where to hang out, because now you can figure out where do people hang out who want to run the Boston Marathon. But that's where you'll go. Even though you could help anyone with any kind of marathon, by being so specific and clear, you are improving your messaging, you're improving the conversations that you're having, and those people will feel understood by you. You're not just any marathon runner or even just any sports coach. You are particularly passionate about running the Boston Marathon. And this specificity, which you've just highlighted, is so powerful.
People will pick you, even though they may think there is a ton of coaches that they can choose, but they're going to pick you because you'll be able to relate to them, because you like you said, you understand them. You're very specific to, so you've gotten to understand that specific person who has that specific goal. And a lot of the times it's because you've been there and you understand them and you've had these conversations. So, oh, I could choose this coach, that coach, but I click with him because he more or less understands me. We've had these conversations, and it doesn't make you superior. Like, oh, he is the best coach ever. It's more like he's the best coach for me.
Oh, Victor, I love that. That's the most powerful feeling we can create in a potential client, is when they say, you are the perfect coach for me. Yeah, that's it. Wow. Such a good conclusion, Victor.
Coaching a match, it's a perfect match. And when a perfect match, you can both create magic.
Victor, there was one final question I wanted to ask you, which is something you highlighted in our personal conversation last time. And that is, through finding your high ticket client and working with them, you realized something, and that realization really stuck with me. What you said is that when someone launches their coaching business or online business, they might say that they want 20 clients right now and they want to have the six-figure business overnight. But when it comes to making a decision, most people will feel much more comfortable with just finding that very first client. All they want is one good client who pays them the fee that they want to charge, and actually thinking about 20 clients this month would make them feel overwhelmed and subconsciously blocks them from even accepting help. I don't want to put any words into your mouth because you've explained this topic so beautifully last time. Could you elaborate on that realization a bit here, and what especially for yourself, what the big takeaway was and how this changed your mindset about finding high ticket clients and charging them your fees?
I remember that conversation with you, and my first thought is like, I really want to help this client out, because I know I can do it, and it would bring me such confidence in myself, confidence in my client to work with him. And then my thought is like, if Morris would help me get 10 clients right now, would I be able to serve them with the same amount of quality? And I think that maybe I could, but for myself, I would be more confident. Well, let me just create the quality I want for this client, and then I can move on. So I think that maybe a lot of us work at different pace, it may be, or if we haven't been in that environment, maybe someone comes from helping a group of people. Maybe at their other job, they were coaching a lot of people, not directly through their business, but they're already used to. Maybe they could advance. Maybe they already have that confidence that they could help 10 clients with the same amount of quality. For me, it's like, let me help this client, and this will give me insight as to how I want to continue to market myself to get the next clients. And if it happens to come along that another client and another client comes in as I'm helping this one, then I'm prepared. But I love to focus on, it gives me some kind of satisfaction that I'm helping this client and I'm going to get him to the Boston Marathon. And then I will help more clients because I will have proven myself. I will have a lot of the insights as to why one wants to do that, how they progressed, and use that to help other clients. So a good question to ask yourself is, if you get 10 clients, would you even be able to serve them? Because I don't think that people have asked themselves that question, because a lot of them will say, I'd like to have 10 clients in 3 months. Okay. If I got you 10 clients in 10 weeks, could you serve them? And the answer may be yes, but maybe in the back of the mind is that you're actually scared of getting 10 clients right now. If you really pay attention to your own consciousness, that's why it's not coming, because in the back of your mind is like, do I even have a program that would help 10 clients simultaneously, or how? Because part of the VC coaching is we're trying to develop that program so that if one day you do have 10 clients, you have an outline on how to help 10 clients. It's easy to help one client, or not easy, but easier, I would think, than helping 10 clients at the same time, at least for beginners in a high quality level.
Yes, exactly. Especially because we want to work with high ticket clients, and high ticket clients expect the best. That's why they're high ticket, else they would just buy an ebook or a course. And I think realizing this without shame or blame for ourselves or for the new coach or consultant is incredibly valuable, because now we can ask the question of how many clients can I serve right now and what needs to happen to increase my capacity. And by tackling the issue this way, we struggle much less with imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and I think that, for example, with me having a specific client now, I'm serving my high ticket clients, but I'm still providing value to many people because I'm coaching at the club and I'm coaching my client. So that now I can set my mind as to asking that question. If I had 4 people like that, because there's going to be difference in them, their capabilities, their everything, and I can start forming my program a lot, refining it, in other words, for that way anybody who comes along, I'm able to help them and be more clear on how my program develops to best serve any potential client that comes.
Like many times we think, oh, I only have one client, I'm not scaling, I'm not growing. But what you're saying is that this first client, this one client experience allows you to really focus on them and work on your methodology and become better. And if you had 10 clients right now, you couldn't be so invested into every single client. Mentally, you might not be ready. Maybe even your methodology isn't ready for that. And you're missing out on this incredibly valuable learning experience, so that next time you can have 2 at the same time, and then 5, and you will continue to over deliver to all your clients. And this mindset shift, I find it so valuable and fascinating. And that's why I'm glad you came on here to share this today.
Well, thank you, Morris. And you've been, everything that I talk about the coaching, and a lot of it I've learned from you. You've coached me on editing my first video, and that was really high quality. You were able to spend that kind of time. And I feel like I'm doing now that for another client, but in the same manner that you did for me. And it also, I think, makes it where we can put our own uniqueness to it. If we had 10 clients, usually I feel anyway, it's just my opinion, that if you take a cookie cutter way of helping 10 people, that it might work, but you're not bringing your own uniqueness, where as you work with one client, now you may use methodologies from other coaches, but you're adding it allows you to add quite a bit of your own flair, your own spice, your own way of doing it.
Victor, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for sharing your story. You are one of those people I met at the beginning of this year who has really progressed so much, and it shows because you're talking from your own experience. You've tried things out, you gained your own insights, and I find this the most fascinating marketing and sales stories to learn from. So thank you very much for sharing that. Anyone listening to this, where can they find you? How would you like them to contact you?
They can go to my website. It's eymcoaching.com. It stands for expressyourmission.com. And yeah, they can, my email is victorviz@comcast.net. But yeah, mostly on that website, or always on Facebook with Express Your Mission website, and also under my name, Facebook. In the future, there'll be a lot more of me on YouTube.
Okay, so they can visit your website, eymcoaching.com. EYM stands for Express Your Mission, so eymcoaching.com. Or they can join your Facebook group, which is also called EYM Coaching. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay, they can find your Facebook group, join there.
I am creating an ebook on the Superman cocktail, it's called, and it's the chemicals that happen when we run. The ebook's going to be about how to tap into your human pharmacy, I'm going to call it, your own body pharmacy, so that if you need more adrenaline, if you need more serotonin, if you need how to get those without taking the actual pill, kind of like the how do we take more of this placebo pills that gets us to a state of mind to perform at a better level and bring out the best in us?
On your website, eymcoaching.com, they can also download your free ebook, The Superman Cocktail, and that will be available on your website for download. And if they have any questions, they can contact you in the Facebook group. Awesome. Victor, thank you again one more time. I hope we'll speak again soon, and then hopefully you can come back for maybe another interview with more experiences in your coaching business.
Absolutely, it'd be an honor. Thank you for having me, Morris, and I look forward to our next conversation.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Victor Vizcaino. Make sure to check out his website, eymcoaching.com, and download his free ebook, The Superman Cocktail. I've also recorded a video around how I was signing up my first few clients through conversations on social media. If you want to watch that, click here to watch this video now. My name is Morris. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next video.